Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Okay. So in every class we see the meaning of one prayer that we chant. So we have seen Sahana Vavatu and Gurur Brahma. The third one is Samasta Jana Kalyane means for the welfare of all beings. Niratam, one who is engaged in. Karunamayam, who is compassionate. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam. Salutations to Swami Chinmayananda. Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram, who is my Sadguru and who is the knower of Brahman, the best amongst the knower of Brahman. That's the literal meaning. So this is a verse which is written by Swami Tejomayananda ji, who is our present head. So this is Swami Chinmayananda ji. This is Swami Tapon Maharaj, his guru, and Swami Tejomayananda ji's picture is actually inside. So Swami Tejomayananda ji is our present head of Chinmaya mission, and he has written a composition called Kritagnyata. So the first verse, Kritagnyata, means gratitude. So first verse of that is this. So every time we chant this verse, and we offer our gratitude to our master Swami Chinmayananda ji. Now, what we have completed so far, I'm going to quickly revise. Our sessions are called life management techniques. So there are two aspects to life. One is we have to face life. Another is when we face life, what we make out of it. So life is defined as a series of experiences. One by one experiences come to us. And in those experiences, we don't have a choice of what experience comes to us, but we always have a choice of how to respond to that experience. And that choice we can make when we have the right knowledge. So as per our knowledge will be our vision of life. And as the vision of life is, we have accordingly the values. So if my knowledge says that money is everything, my vision of life is I have to make maximum money. Then I will value only money. My desire will be for that. Thoughts, how to get more and more of that. I act that way. Whatever results I get will further influence my vision. Nothing wrong with acquiring money, but the idea is that whatever is the vision, knowledge, if the knowledge says that the purpose of life is to enjoy, but then that's the vision. And the whole value system, desires, thoughts, actions, everything are determined by that. If one says no, the knowledge says that the purpose of life is to evolve from human to divine, then accordingly will be the whole cycle. So as the vision, so will be our life, and that vision is influenced by our knowledge. So we saw three types of vision: deluded vision, divisive vision, and divine vision. Deluded vision is called tamasic. In tamasic drishti. Drishti is a vision. You must have heard a famous line saying, Yatha drishti, tatha srishti. As the vision is, so the world appears to us. So deluded vision is tamasic, divisive vision is rajasic, and the divine or holistic vision is sattvic. Now we had seen the first aspect, which is the deluded vision. Some aspects of this vision we had understood that day in the previous session. So what are the aspects of the deluded vision? What is the main aspect of deluded vision? Those of you already come.
See the thing as it is.
So one is ignorance. One is we can't.
We see the opposite of what is.
Yeah, we see the opposite. That is called moha.
And believe it to be true. Believe it to be true.
You see the opposite, believe it to be true.
And leads to disappointment.
Leads to disappointment. So my way or highway, that is fanaticism. What else?
Leads to destructive tendencies.
May lead to destructive, may also not.
What do you mean by my way or highway?
You have to follow this way only, otherwise, I'm not with you, or I don't accept what you say, and you follow your own thing.
To control you. I'm the best kind.
Yeah, no, one tries to, like we say, fanaticism. So if this path is followed, then you are with me, otherwise you are fired, or you are even hurt, or you are even killed. So sometimes people do that with deluded vision, because they think that is the only way. Examples of these are when you see a mirage and you believe it to be water. That is a deluded vision. That's an external example. Internally, what are the delusions that we have? When I don't see very clearly that money is required for functional security, but I believe that that gives me psychological security, then I am seeing the opposite and I am believing that to be true. People can give me happiness. Nobody can give us happiness. Happiness is our nature. But I believe that they can give me happiness. Delusion. So when I don't see the reality, I see something else, and then I believe that to be true, definitely leads to disappointment, because I have false expectations. Now, false expectations will surely lead to disappointment. There is fanaticism in that, and then it may lead to destruction, it may lead to harm, many things can happen. So this is about the tamasic vision, where a person is deluded and believes it to be true. What happens also in deluded vision is there is a lot of justification that happens, and one doesn't put forth efforts to rise out of the delusion. So you will find that when people have this tamasic drishti, whatever they do, they believe it to be true. This is fine. They don't manifest their potential. They don't work hard. They don't strive. They just exist. And they believe that is fine. So in deluded vision, one is completely in a tamasic state of affairs. Laziness, lethargy, procrastination. All these are effects of deluded vision.
Stone being. Stone being.
Stone being, yeah. So one just survives through. So if somebody is tamasic or lazy or lethargic, we try to we don't understand that the vision of that person is tamasic. That's why the effect of it is laziness, lethargy, procrastination, all that. Externally, we just try to brand or blame that person. That will not work. The vision of that person has to change, because the person doesn't feel the need. In deluded vision, because I believe it to be true, the way I am existing, what I am seeing is true, why do I have a need? Why should I get up early? Many people will feel that. One day we get to sleep. That is also Sunday. And that day you keep one Bhaja Govindam class. That also at 9 o'clock in the morning. Why should I get up early and come? Where is the need? So all of you are Sattvic people, you are sitting here. There may be many people who are thinking that way, "Arey, why?" So if you have laziness, lethargy, is because the vision is that way, "Ke bas theek hai." Not to condemn anybody, just to understand that from where this tendency comes of laziness, lethargy, sloth, slumber, procrastination, carelessness, chalta hai attitude, all that comes from a deluded vision. ठीक है. Why should we? There is no motivation, internal or external. Now we come to the second one, which is the divisive vision. So what is a divisive vision? A divisive vision is, it won't go, leave it. The divisive vision is a partial vision. I don't see something holistically, I get focused only on one part. In deluded vision, the vision is, there is ignorance only of the higher self. In this, there is a partial vision, a limited vision. Yeah. So only narrowed down to one. See, to know the whole and narrow down to one is proper. There is nothing wrong in that. Today in management also they say, no? Think global, act local. Because you have to keep that in mind. The holistic picture you have to keep in mind, and then you act specifically for a specific objective. That is nothing wrong about it. But in this, when we say partial vision, the person doesn't have the holistic view. He is only stuck to one. So what is the example of that partial vision? Like a student gets stuck to the percentage that one wants. The whole picture of life is not seen. And I get stuck to the percentage that I want, and that creates so much of anxiety and stress, and how much people go into drugs, depression, even some students commit suicide just because they did not get a certain percentage and admission in a certain institution. We get partially focused on relationships. We get so attached to one person, maybe my son, maybe my spouse, maybe my whoever, and that I lose the bigger picture of life, and I allow that person to control. So in divisive vision, there is a partial vision, and one gets attached. Now that attachment creates that sorrow. Like Dhritarashtra got attached to his son. The whole Mahabharata war happened. Why? Because the vision is partial. He could have had a holistic vision. That vision would have saved his son also. But he did not do his duty because he got attached to his son. Vision became partial. Blinded by the attachment to his son, could not do his duty. So in a partial vision, that is what happens. First of all, the holistic vision is not there, and then one gets attached to that one small thing. And then once one gets attached to it, all the other things follow. What will follow? Fear, anger, greed, passion, all that will follow. Jealousy. Because I am scared of losing what I am attached to. If somebody tries to take it away, I get angry. I am greedy, more and more I want. I can be overcome by passion or lust also. If somebody has more than me, I am jealous also. So all these start because of a delusive vision, because of a divisive vision, where I get attached to one thing. So the main quality of a divisive vision is rajas. Rajoguna is attachment. Based on this vision, what happens is one loses that objectivity and focus. So for example, in our culture, it is said that what is their holistic vision of life? What does a human being seek first? First and foremost, what will a human being seek? Happiness, peace, all that you seek first. Food, clothing, shelter, meaning basic security we seek first. Physical security, emotional security, financial security, social security. So they called it as Artha. Artha means prosperity or security, physical, emotional, financial. Once you get that, what is the next demand? Suppose you have food, clothing, shelter, money, calm, enjoyment, because I want to enjoy. Everybody waits for the weekend. Why? बाहर जाएंगे. In Gujarati people, I tell you, they cannot cook in the house on a Sunday evening. It is a crime if you ask them to cook on Sunday evening. They have to go out and eat. Half the hotels in Mumbai are filled only with Gujarati people. On Sunday evening you can't eat outside. You have to keep waiting. 3/4? Maybe 3/4. So, maja karenge. Nothing wrong with it. That's why they call, when you ask them, Kem cho? Maja ma. Maja karenge. We'll be fine always. I'm also Gujarati by the way. But now I'm a sannyasi, so I don't call myself as Gujarati. So anyway, so the idea is that one wants to enjoy, one wants to be happy. And now what happens is, these two, majority of human life goes only in these two. That's why it becomes a partial vision. Some people will think, Yare, kya hoga in my life? What have I done? What will happen to me after death? And slowly one starts thinking about dharma. Yare, Baba, I have done so many things. What is going to protect me? Today maybe people don't even think of that, because they think that there is only one life. Where is the next life? But dharma, at a certain stage in life, one understands that I may have earned artha and kama without the basis of dharma. Today we find that because artha is pursued without dharma, there is corruption everywhere. Kama is without dharma, there is AIDS everywhere. So now slowly one gets balanced, saying, okay, we have to follow dharma, values, righteousness. And such a person finally seeks moksha, or wants to understand that who am I truly? Even though I am living a righteous life, value-based life, still I have a sense of finitude and limitation. How do I get out of that? So moksha is not freedom from action. Gurudev used to define moksha as, it is not freedom from action, but it is freedom in action. And how can I act without being stressful, without being anxious, without worrying? When my ego reduces and completely disappears, then the best in me manifests. This is called a holistic vision. To get stuck to one is the partial vision, and one gets attached. So there are many who will get stuck only to artha. And it is very strange. That money doesn't say that I am yours. Think about it. But I say that money is mine. Ye mera, 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 mera. And for that inert money, how many relationships they sacrifice? They will not have love with people, they will fight, they will cheat, they will do manipulation. For what? For that money which they are not even going to carry. Forget not going to carry. While it is with them, what are they doing? Maximum how much you can do? You can eat a certain amount only, you can enjoy a certain amount only. Beyond that, what? But the vision gets clouded. That's why this greed and all that which comes now, because one is attached. Today you see that earlier if somebody was a lakpati, you say, "Arey, ye to lakpati hai." Somebody is karodpati, you say, "Karodpati hai." Now I don't know what to say. Because there are thousands and crores, thousands of crores people are having, still they are doing scam. That's the level of greed that has come into the mind. So when a person gets attached that way to one aspect, certain people get attached to karma, enjoyment, going on enjoying. Can't understand only what is that insatiable thirst to enjoy. One is almost going to die, but that thirst to enjoy doesn't go. In that Mahabharata there is a very nice example. And there is a man who is going in the forest, and suddenly there is a tiger which starts chasing him. So the fellow runs. He runs for his life and runs very, very fast. In that anxiety, he doesn't see that there is a well, and he trips. He is falling inside the well. As he is falling inside the well, there is a creeper, there is like a small plant which is growing from the cracks in the wall. This fellow manages to catch that. He is hanging delicately. The tiger has come on the top. The tiger is on the top. Down he sees there are all snakes and pythons. And he is hanging so delicately with that creeper. Any time that creeper will break, that plant will break, he will fall down. At that moment, he finds that there is a honeycomb little above, and there are a few honeybees which have come inside, and when they have come inside to deposit that honey, one drop of honey is falling down, and this fellow takes his tongue out to sip that one drop of honey. That is the example which is given in Mahabharata to say that what is the tendency of the human being to enjoy. That the fellow is going to die for sure. So what is his logic? कैसे भी मरना ही है, मजा करके मरो. And that is the logic that lot of people give. 4 दिन की चांदनी, खाओ पियो और मौज करो. Why live in self-control? And the logic given is what? So you see, Swamiji, suppose you go to somebody's house and they have cooked such a lovely feast for you. 50 items they have cooked. And you go to their house and you say, it's very nice of you have cooked so much, but I don't eat anything. Just give me 1 glass of water. How rude that will be, because that person cooked all this for you and you say, no, I don't want any of this. I am doing upvas, I just need 1 glass of water. So Bhagavan created this entire universe for us to enjoy, and in that universe you come and say that, I live in self-control. So I am enjoying for Bhagavan because he created all this. Some logic people give. So if you get attached to artha or kama, some people get attached to dharma also. They will have self-righteousness. I am a very righteous person. I have never compromised in my life. Other people, I don't compromise. One gets attached. So nothing wrong with artha, kama and dharma or even moksha. But one who gets attached to it and loses the focus. So in divisive vision, what happens? The moment I get attached to it, I create a division. Whoever will help me to attain whatever I am attached to, they are my people. Others are other people. And I create a psychological distinction. So this divisive vision leads to that kind of if you see in our country what has happened. One vision of India is not there. Each state wanting its own power, its own autonomy. And we have been ruled for centuries together because of what? Only because of this, divide and rule. So many people came, divided us on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, so many different types of divisions, and then ruled us. So in a divisive vision, that is what happens, where a person just loses the objectivity, focus, and one is dominated actually. By whatever one is attached to, one doesn't realize that I lose my freedom when I am in a divisive vision. Whatever I am attached to, I am bound by that. That controls me.
So attachment to even dharma and moksha is
Any form of attachment is wrong. Wrong in the sense it is harmful. I have to be steadfast in dharma. I cannot be attached to dharma. In attachment, I am more important. My image, what it is more important to me in attachment. So if I am attached to money, I say I plus money is equal to such and such person. Popular person, famous person, successful person. So I made my image like that. Same way, enjoyment. Same way with dharma. So in attachment, that I becomes more important. The ego gets boosted. So I don't follow dharma for the sake of dharma. I follow dharma because it gives me some name, fame, recognition, some superiority, some self-righteousness. Otherwise, to be steadfast in dharma and to pursue moksha intensely, nothing wrong, and that has to be done actually.
How does this apply to moksha? How does this apply to
There are many people who get so attached to moksha that they even forego their duties. If they are not ready for it, but they are attached to the concept of moksha, they will not do their duty. See, people like Buddha, etc., they are ready for that state. But not everybody is ready. But many of them will drop, they will get attached to moksha, they will not do their duty, they will not purify the mind. So then there is an issue there.
So Yudhishthira was attached to dharma.
Who?
Yudhishthira was attached to dharma.
No, he was steadfast in dharma. He was not attached to dharma. Yeah, because that's what he was, steadfast to dharma. He did not do anything wrong. One or two things he did, and he got the karma phala for that. Like he said half truth. When that Ashwathama, the elephant, was killed.
After that time, he left dharma for the welfare.
That's what. So for the higher good, he did a little sacrifice. Right.
Swamiji, does it mean if somebody is steadfast in dharma, he has overcome earth and kama?
Overcome attachment to earth and kama.
Yeah, then only he can...
Yes. If you have attachment to artha and kama, you cannot be dharmic. That's what you see, no? Everywhere you see the attachment to artha and kama makes us compromise with dharma only.
Then the next. But I think even if you are attached to artha, you can't do the kama nicely also. Like
That is also true.
money and they don't enjoy because
True.
they are attached to money.
True.
These are steps to...
Yeah. So in our culture, this journey, a human being can evolve in this. So this journey is mentioned in through that 4 stages of life. See, this is the order in which human being pursues things. But there is another order where dharma comes first. So as a student, I learn what is dharma, so that my attitude towards artha and kama will become regulated. I know what to do with that artha, what to do with kama. I know their place in life. So first comes dharma, then artha, then kama, then moksha.
See, if I'm not confusing Upanishad Ganga, one of the episode, they have, I think, emphasized dharma more than even moksha. Maybe,
That I am not aware of. I am not, which episode I don't know you are speaking about, but there cannot be more emphasis on dharma than moksha, because dharma is still a means to moksha. Dharma, however much you follow, you still remain a finite individual. Moksha is that liberation from that sense of finitude. So moksha is the ultimate. And this, if you see the word moksha and you feel scared, this is not something out of the world. We spoke about it earlier, that whatever we do only for the sake of happiness. And not only happiness we want now, we want happiness forever. That eternal happiness is what we call as moksha, which is what we have studied in our earlier session as fulfillment. The journey from emptiness to fulfillment. That fulfillment is moksha. So everybody actually is seeking that. There is nobody who doesn't want freedom from ego and the experience of permanent happiness. Just that some people know it, so they are called seekers who are seeking it consciously, and some people don't know it. But otherwise everyone is seeking the same thing. And that's why moksha is called the supreme objective of human life. Because that for which I am doing artha, kama and dharma is moksha. I want everything for the sake of happiness. But do I want happiness for something else? No, I want happiness for the sake of happiness. And that's an inborn desire in every one of us. That I want to be happy and I want to be free from sorrow. That state is what is moksha. So, to have a holistic vision, in one way to understand is to have this complete vision of life where I know. So, as we saw in that cycle of knowledge, if my knowledge is that human life is meant to evolve through all this and attain freedom, then my whole life will be according to that. I will not get stuck in artha and kama, or even dharma, or even moksha. I will move gradually. So these 4 stages of life, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha and sannyas. In English we had in nice way this was explained. So in the first stage, brahmachari, you learn. So you learn about all this, artha, kama, dharma, everything. Second stage, you earn and burn. You earn and you burn that money for enjoyment also. You burn your vasanas also. Vasana means your tendencies. Exhaust. And then you get burnt also. In the fire of samsara, one gets burnt, saying, oh God, what is this happening here? In vanaprastha, you slowly take a U-turn, saying कि enough, I have played with money, power, pleasure, prestige, बहुत हो गया. Turn to know your own self. Slowly you take a turn. Because if the car is going at a speed of 120 kilometers, suddenly you can't stop. And suddenly you can't reverse or take a U-turn. You have to slow down and take. So suddenly to think only of the Lord, not possible. So once you take U-turn and you contemplate on the truth, then no return. No return means you don't return back to this kind of deluded vision and divisive vision. You remain in a sattvic vision, trying to focus on your own self, on moksha, and you attain. And finally, when you attain moksha, you don't return back. No birth, no death. You are free after that. So this is the holistic vision of life, the third vision. In the divisive vision, we have seen that one loses that freedom. One gets attached to one thing. And what happens in divisive vision is that one gives a lot of importance to differences. What is that? In divisive vision, differences are given more importance. In a sattvic vision or a holistic vision, oneness is given more important. So where divisions are given more important, there we separate, we brand, we psychologically differentiate. So there it is not possible to be fair. As we see even in Ramayana or Mahabharata or even in our daily life. The moment I start dividing, then I can't be fair. Even a simple thing, if the mother loves all the children equally, she loves all of them. But the moment she starts branding, that this is more dear, that is less dear, all that, then you can't be fair. Same way in our country also. There's a vision that we all are belonging to one country. The moment you divide, that this is North India and this is South India, and how much of agitation just based on language. If you go to South India, some of the places you will not even see Hindi, you can't even talk in Hindi. They have such a strong anti-Hindi sentiment. Now, the moment that division comes, then all these problems start. So in a divisive vision, that is what happens. The differences are given more importance. Oneness is not given importance. So if differences are given more importance, there will be attachment, there will be branding, there will be separation, there will be conflict. That cannot be avoided. And And hence there will be lopsided development. You will find that. Naturally there will be disharmony. Even in our own personality you will see. When we get attached to only one aspect, how much we push the children for that marks and the tuition class and the study and all that, the co-curricular activities, other skills which they have to they have to understand, the emotional empowerment they have to go through, all that one doesn't go through because one is so stuck on that one aspect. Then there is a lopsided development. Body one takes good care of, intellect one takes good care of, but emotions and spiritual layer, that is ignored. So then that holistic vision is not there. So in a holistic vision there is total self-development. So when we come now to that aspect, you can, here ends the divisive vision. This starts with the divine vision. The divine vision or holistic vision. That holistic vision is total self-development. As an individual, I focus on myself as a whole. So in a holistic vision, what is important is you look at everything as a whole, complete, not only as divisions. And having seen the whole, you know the divisions and you can pay proper attention. So I as a person, I am a one entity, whole. There are different parts to my personality: body, mind, intellect, and the soul or the spiritual part. Then there are other aspects to my external aspects. I have a financial life, I have a social life, I have a professional life, different aspects. So once I know that I am as a one individual, I am a whole. I have different roles that I am playing. To do well in each role becomes easy. Because I am not stuck to only one role. I am seeing myself as a whole. So in a divine vision, you look at life as a whole and live a whole life. The divisions that we create will only be functional divisions with the awareness of the whole. So like if I know very well that artha, kama, dharma, moksha, this is the scheme of life. And I know at one point in time I have to withdraw from artha and kama. So even while I am enjoying that, I will do it with that awareness so that I don't get attached. Like when we travel in an aeroplane. We travel, we sit comfortably and we enjoy, we see the movie which is being played, we eat, we do everything. But do we get attached to that seat? No, this seat is so good, chalo isko bhi leke jayenge hamare saath. No, because you know that you have to drop it. Destination has come and this was only a means. Now I have come here. So artha, kama, dharma, these are all the means which are there. So I don't get attached. So I look at life as a whole. This is what I have to do. And I live a whole life. Many people who do not have this holistic vision, how much sorrow one goes through and makes others go through. Suppose we knew that at one point in time I have to take a U-turn and withdraw. Will we not drop? There are people who don't drop. The control of the, let us say, business. The key will still be in their hands. What is your age? 80 years now. Anytime you will die. But no. Till the last minute, I will have the control. Why? Your children are waiting. So many people have been killed by their children because of that. So many kings have been killed because of that. Control, power, can't let go. Because I have not had that holistic vision. So when this life as a whole is not seen, a lot of problem happens. So holistic vision is, one is total self-development. You see life as a whole. Oh, I should not write below. Second aspect is, I'm just going to rub this out. One focuses more on the oneness. In spite of differences, one who can see the oneness, that person has a divine vision. So you focus more on the oneness aspect. Now this is a very important aspect of divine vision. Where there is oneness, there will be love. Think about it. If I love my country, why do I love my country? Because I identify with my country. The moment I identify, I feel one, that I am an Indian. Love for India comes up. If I love my whole family, that we belong to this whole family. Suppose the Pandavas and the Kauravas had that vision that we belong to the Kuru dynasty. We are one family which is Kuru dynasty. This war only would not have happened. But the identification is not with that one aspect. Identification is with the divisions. These are my children, these are Pandu's children. That vision of oneness is gone. So where there is oneness, there is love.
How is this oneness different from attachment?
In attachment, I am important. In the vision of oneness, that with which I am identifying, that is more important. I have sublimated myself. So a patriot who loves the country is more important than I. Person who loves the family for the sake of family. Family's harmony is more important than I, the individual. In a company, the employee and the employer, both of them identify with the vision of the company, that okay, this company has been formed, let us say medical company or pharmaceutical company, so to alleviate the pain and suffering of people. Now that is the vision of the company. Now everybody identifies with the vision of the company, not with the individual, that I am more important here and I should get more power. What is the vision of the company? Everyone is convinced by that and ready to execute that. At that vision, I sublimate my ego. So in a sattvic or a holistic vision, this focus is on the oneness, and where there is oneness, there is love. Where there is love, ego automatically sublimates. When ego sublimates, the best in you comes out. That is the secret. When the ego sublimates, the best in me manifests. You know, it takes time for some of us to understand this point. Because one still feels that how can I live in this world without ego? I always say that we are very careful about our blood pressure, BP, but we are not careful about ego pressure, EP. And it's the ego pressure which creates more blood pressure also. Machine is not there, agreed. But we have internal indicator, no, now. So ego pressure, when it is there, my performance also is limited. So many people you will find them, they say that when I lost myself, I excelled. So Zakir Hussain is playing tabla, or Tendulkar is playing cricket, or anybody, somebody is doing painting. They lose themselves in that. Lose themselves means what? Ego is sublimate, gone. Infinite potential in us starts manifesting when ego sublimates. That is what a sattvic vision will do. So where there is oneness, there is love. Where there is love, there will be service. Because when I love, I want to serve. I want to give. I want to do. And where there will be this service, that is what we call as the concept of duty. And the service will also be, you follow values. You don't do service without values. The person whom you love, you will follow values, no, in that. honesty, integrity, compassion, straightforwardness, all that will be there. One will not cheat, one will not hide, one will not manipulate. Because the basis is love, and love comes from oneness. And again remember, oneness comes from knowledge. If I have the right knowledge, the right vision, I have vision of oneness. That is called sattvic vision or a holistic vision. And this you can apply everywhere. So if you find that there is disharmony in a family, what is the solution? The solution is make everybody identify with the common cause. That is important. So you make a family mission statement. Really, it works. We have to keep trying. If we become cynical and skeptical, saying कि क्या होगा उससे कुछ नहीं होगा, that is tamasic vision. You do na. Things will happen. Some people may take time to change. Some people may not even change. Doesn't matter. You do keep doing and you be proactive. Just because somebody is inactive, why are you becoming inactive? You remain proactive. So, knowledge leads to oneness, oneness leads to love, love leads to service, service will be value based. This is the concept of dharma in our culture. When we say that dharma, some people say dharma means values, some people say dharma means duty, some people say dharma means righteousness, some people say dharma means honesty. They all come from this. So in a sattvic vision, the focus will remain on the oneness aspect.
But when you say oneness, with say a country, there could be that, love for that country, they could be fighting for that country on that basis. Will that still be a divine vision?
Right. So now what is important there is to understand that one is that why that fighting is being done. Is it being done as aggression or is it being done in defense? If somebody is attacking my family and if I have to fight in my defense, it is still based on oneness only. One aspect. Second aspect to understand here is, that is where the understanding of Advaita Vedanta comes in, that the highest level of oneness is that there is one self in everyone. The same truth is in everyone. That is the highest level of oneness. One who operates from that highest level of oneness will not get stuck at any level. So even country becomes a limitation. When I consider humanity, then country is a limitation. When I consider humanity, then again I am stuck to human beings. What about plants, birds, animals? Suppose I say all living beings, then again I am stuck only to the living beings. What about the trees? What about the rivers and the mountains and all that? So the whole world, what is that one thing which is common in the entire world? Is the self. And that's why those masters who rise to that level, where they understand that there is only one truth manifesting in everyone, like all the waves in the ocean are nothing but water only. Water is one thing which is common in not only all the waves, but all the, the foam, the bubble, the lather, everything. Water is common. So what is that one thing which unites the entire creation? One who can operate from there, that is the highest level of oneness. And that one truth, you call it by different names. Sat, Chit, Anand, absolute self, your own true nature. Different names are given to that. But that is common. Our body, mind, intellect differs. Living, non-living differs. So that's why one has to come to that ultimate level of truth. How will you come to that ultimate level? You have to identify, you have to expand from I. That's why our culture says that you have to expand. How will you expand? Only when you have love and you can feel oneness. So okay, expand from one individual to family, family to community, community to country, country to world, from world to the absolute truth. Why did we say in our culture Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Vasudha means earth. The entire earth is one family. They did not say all the human beings are one family. They said the entire earth is one family. So includes all living, non-living creatures, everything. And Vedanta didn't stop there. Vedanta said that whole universe is one. It is not only the earth. Everything in this creation is divine. So that sense of oneness when one has, the beauty of that is that oneness ultimately transforms into compassion. Causeless compassion. That absolute sense of oneness translates into causeless compassion and tireless service. You see people like Buddha or Mahavir or Vivekananda or Mirabai, so many of them. When they experienced that oneness, they lived their lives with so much of compassion. They lived their lives with tireless service. So this divine vision actually, the Sattvic vision leads to the vision of non-duality, Advaita.
It's regarding a family like Pandava and even if one has the feeling of oneness and the other one does not, it's destructive. And then it's very difficult to keep proactive.
Correct.
So how do you, can you inspire oneness in the other person, or you have to follow another path?
One has to try to inspire oneness. That is what Mahabharata they did. Krishna tried. Everybody tried. Vidur also tried. Krishna also tried to get that sense of oneness. Bhishma also tried. Everybody tried. But ultimately when that could not happen, there were two choices left. Either let this adharma continue and just be a passive onlooker, or fight for dharma. Now, to allow exploitation to happen is not appropriate. And they, as a Kshatriyas, they had the duty to fight, to protect dharma. So they took the other path. They fought. But in that you see the beauty of Krishna. When he taught the Gita, he told Arjun that you forgive them from inside, but you fight outside. You have no hatred inside your heart for what they have done to you, but you are fighting for the righteous cause. You are not fighting here for the sake of yourself.
Hate the game not to play.
Yeah. So you are not fighting for land, you are not fighting for power, which you want. You are fighting here for a righteous cause, which is, in that context, which is to protect dharma. So you don't have any hatred, and you still fight. That's what Jesus said, no, hate the sin, not the sinner. So this is the beauty of forgiveness in our culture, is that, people think that forgive and forget means you get exploited. No. There are different levels of forgive and forget. This level of forgiveness is, you forgive from inside, but outside you have to fight, so you have to fight. There is no question about that. So if that path has to be taken, then that path has to be taken.
First you have to try.
First you have to try. All other means have to be tried. One cannot fight straight away. Our problem is, first step will be attack. That cannot be done. They went to the level of adjustment so much that they said, you give us just 5 houses. He said no. He said, give us 1 house with 5 rooms. He said no. And then he dropped the pin. Duryodhana dropped the pin and he said, the land occupied by dropping a pin, that much also I will not give you. Now that was symbolic. It is not that they wanted land. The idea is that this guy is completely becoming adharmic, and already for 13 years he has tortured the people there. Now if this continues, then they will be at fault. Pandavas will be at fault, because as Kshatriya they have not done their duty to to protect dharma. So then the war became the war of dharma finally. So as individuals they were ready to do adjustment. So they said peace is more important than anything else. And they were ready to go to that level of adjustment, saying, actually the whole kingdom belongs to them. Already the kingdom was divided into half. Half is given to Kauravas and half they are having. And there also such an unjust way they did it. They gave that portion of the kingdom which is barren, useless, absolutely, land is not fertile, nothing can be done there. That was called Khandav Prasth. That portion was given off to these people. And with their hard work, they built that entire city and made it so glorious, much better than this Hastinapur also. So a lot of lessons to learn in Mahabharata and Ramayana. And one main lesson is this, that how much injustice was done to them, and yet they remained steadfast in dharma. And yet they fought for dharma. It is not to become passive and get exploited. No. You fight. But with what attitude you fight? Very important. So 3 types of vision we have seen. This is where we stop for today. Our purpose of doing this 3 different types of vision was that in Bhaja Govindam we have 2 aspects happening. One is wherever we are attached to, that divisive vision which is there, we must rise above that. And deluded vision which is there should be destroyed. And we must try to live with the higher vision which is a divine or sattvic vision. So now these 31 verses which will come in Bhaja Govindam, each of them they do these 2 things. They destroy the deluded vision and help us to see the flaw of the divisive vision, and they help us to rise above these and come to a divine vision. Before we get into the Bhaja Govindam, the author of Bhaja Govindam is Sri Adi Shankaracharya, a very great personality, and we need to know something more about him.